Hello scale modelers from YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you my version of the 1957 Chevy Bel-Air hardtop. Built by Boyd Coddington, one of the first, and perhaps the best known, of the Southern California hot rod builders. Boyd Coddington, best known for his appearances on the TLC reality show, American Hot Rod, was also the former owner of the Boyd Coddington Hot Rod Shop. In 1957, Charles Francis O'Reilly and Charles H. O'Reilly founded O'Reilly Auto Parts. As part of its 50th anniversary celebration, Boyd Coddington was commissioned to build a unique special edition of the 1957 Chevy Bel-Air, named the Chubster. The Chubster was built on Art Morrison frame with Jerry Kubel front and rear independent suspension. It is powered by a GM Performance LS crate motor that produces 440 horsepower at the rear wheels, and backed by a Toy Shop TH400 transmission. This car rides of a set of one-off custom billet wheels. The paint is DuPont Hot Hues Chroma System Custom Mix and created by Boyd himself, naming it Chubster Red. The custom interior was done by Gabe Lopez, who is an industry icon in custom interior work. This car is part of the Boyd Coddington Registry, is a Team Killeen build book car, and was built on the hit series American Hot Rod. Boyd is one of the greatest hot rod builders ever, and this car is one of the last masterpieces he created. The model kit is from AMT, number 38342, in 1/25th scale, issued in 2005, and comes in a rigid box with opening from the top. I've got the kit in second hand, with some parts of the interior tube already painted and glued, but the rest of the parts were not touched, even if some of them are loose from the sprues. Most of the parts are molded in red, with the windows and light lenses in clear plastic. There are chrome parts, like the front and rear lights, as well as the bumpers and some optional parts for the engine, transmission, and suspensions. The four wheels have chrome rims, and the tires are in hard black rubber. The pictorial manual sheet, divided into 6 main steps, is very simple, but clear. It gives indications on how to assemble the different parts, but without details of the colors we should use for those parts. Therefore, in some cases I tried to follow the reference photos from the box, or photos that I found on the internet, and in other cases, I followed my imagination. The manual describes 3 assembly options: stock, custom, and drag, but even if there are plastic parts for these 3 options in the sprues, we only have the custom wheels for the Boyd Coddington's version. Therefore, at the end of the day, a custom version is the only valid option to build this kit. First, I disassembled the front seats and the dashboard from the interior tube, as they were glued and painted by the previous owner of the kit. Then, I painted these parts with black primer. After remove some flash and seam lines, the body and the hood were painted with gray primer. Following the manual assembly phases, the first is to assemble the engine. We have 2 engine options, the Competition 409 for the drag and custom versions, and the stock 283 for the stock version. I think that none of these options will match the real car engine, but as there is no other, my choice was for the Competition 409. I painted the engine orange, with the transmission silver, and wired it with yellow cables. For the interior, I used mainly the custom parts, like the custom steering wheel, the safety belts, and the shift lever. I decided to make a 2-tone black interior. Therefore, I masked the central areas of the front and rear seats, as well as some areas of the interior side panels. In this way, I preserved the previous painted matte black of the primer, in these masked areas. Then, I painted the uncovered areas, with semi-gloss black. The floor and the backside of the interior tube were covered with black flocking, to give these areas a carpet look, and I painted some interior details with silver. The safety belts and the shift lever were painted red, to provide some contrast in the black interior. The dashboard was also painted semi-gloss black, with the central area silver, and I printed the 3 gauges for the instrument panel. Again, I really don't think this interior matches the real car, but I like how it turned out. The chrome from the rims was not in good condition, therefore, I stripped the chrome and repainted them. In the chassis, the rear axle, and the front suspension elements, were chrome parts. I stripped the chrome from these parts, and I preferred to paint them with silver and magnesium. I made the 2 exhaust tips, and the exhaust system was painted with silver. The gas tank was painted with aluminum. The chassis was first painted with black primer, and then, with a light coat of red. In the body, the clear parts, like the headlights and windows, were not assembled at this phase. I assembled them only at the end. As I said before, the body and the hood were painted first with gray primer. Then, I masked and painted with white the areas at the rear of the body. After that, I masked these areas, and painted the rest of the body with red. For all the body and windows trims, I used metal foil. The door handles were painted with silver, and the Chevy symbols on the hood and on the trunk were painted with gold. For the doors and trunk lines, as well as in the front grille, I used black panel line accent color. Finally, I assembled all the chrome parts, for the front and rear lights and the bumpers. Then I applied the clear coat. For the final assemblies, there are 3 options: stock, custom, and drag. I followed mainly the custom option. I glued the front and rear windows, then assembled the interior into the body, and then the body to the chassis. To complete the kit, I glued the lens for the front lights, and I made the final assemblies in the engine bay. I glued in place the wired battery, the carburetor assembly, the horns, the radiator tank, and the master cylinder. The kit is completed, and there are many parts left. They all go into my spare parts box for future projects. Now, let's see the result. I hope you like it. I know that this is not exactly the Boyd Coddington's Chubster, but I'm happy with it, and it's my version and my tribute. The legendary Boyd Coddington approach to building hot rods is radically different from that of almost every other hot rod builder, and this kit goes well together with my build of the 1991 Aluma Coupe, also from Boyd Coddington. This kit has been issued before the 57-foot Chevy Pepper Shaker, that I also have in my collection, but most of the parts are the same. The main differences are the wheels and some suspension parts. As I already said, even if the manual also describes the stock and the drag versions, the only wheels that came in this version are the ones for the Coddington's custom 57 Chevy Bel-Air. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all my subscribers. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below with any question or feedback. See you in the next video.